Everybody, welcome back to From the Horse's Mouth. This week finds me starting to plan for my solo trip into the Wilmore Wilderness, which is a requirement I laid out for myself this year. And when I started planning it back in the winter, it seemed like a really cool idea. Now that I'm starting to actually plan it, I guess I just thought of it in the winter and thought, yeah, it's awesome. Now I'm starting to actually plan it, and I'm looking at my luggage. So this is it. These are the saddlebags. This is where everything I will take with me will go. And it looks big there on screen, doesn't it? Yeah, they're pretty deep saddlebags. I've got one compartment here, of course one on the other side like any other saddlebag, and then the secret compartment which goes across the back of your saddle. Much like I see on motorbikes around town. I've never rode a motorbike, but I see guys wearing a very similar thing to this on their bikes. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. It seems big, but it also seems really small when I start thinking about everything I've got to fit into it. Bedding and you know, a tent of some sort or some sort of cover like a tarp, food, cooking utensils, personal items, and things my horse needs like a brush or a spare shoe, some nails, that type of thing. So there's a lot to go in here, and so I'm starting. It's a couple months. I'm really hoping to get into the Wilmore in early August for a week, and I've got a couple months to plan it out. And I'm starting. I've already started kind of conditioning my horse and just thinking about it up in here. But now I'm starting to actually physically lay out the stuff and see how it fits in these bags and weigh it, because I can't put too much weight on my horse's back. I'm already fairly heavy. My saddle's heavy. And so a horse can't carry too much weight, especially in the mountains. So I've got to be very careful how heavy I make this, or else I will, you know, laden him down too much. So that being said, I will, of course, vlog it and video it as I go. So I want to kind of lay out my gear and share with you what I'm taking, what I'm not. And if you have any suggestions, yeah, fire them at me. I'd love to hear some handy camping items you may have took if you're a backpacker or a you know, long distance motorcycler. I know one of you is. All good stuff, so be sure and share your thoughts and ideas. For me, this trip is about really thinking about minimalizing what I take with me, not only out into the Wilmore this time, but what I carry with me in my life and what I live with. You know, it's so easy to accumulate stuff. And that's been a bit of a theme in some of the blogs that I've been reading this year. And I know a lot of us are working on that. For me, that's what this trip is become. It's sort of a process or sort of an exercise I'm going to go through for a week. But my hope is that what I take away from it will expand into the rest of my life and help me sort of live that way if I can, on a different scale, of course, but minimize what I have in my life, what I need, and what my impact is on my environment. So the thought about taking just one horse into the Wilmore came about as I rode out with 15 horses and 8 people a couple of years ago, and it had rained a lot, and sheep season started while I was there, so the sheep hunters were in there in heavy force, and the trails were just dug out because it was wet. It had snowed and rained for a couple of days, and the horses were plowing through mud and just trenching those trails out, and it's a lot of impact on the environment, and some of those trails take a long time to recover, whether it's horse or ATV use or mountain biking. All that stuff takes its toll in the mountains, and so for me, this is a real sort of experiment and exercise in reducing my impact, reducing my footprint in a land that I love and want to see still the way it is now for my grandkids and their grandkids. So anyway, that's what I'm up to. Hey, hope you guys are doing great. Be kind to one another and stay tuned. We'll see you down at the Queen.
Moon rides high in the cloudless sky, and the stars are shining bright. The dark pines grow on the hills below, and the mountains are capped in white. My spurs, they ring as a song I sing, set to my horse's stride. We'll gallop along to an old-time song as out on the trail we ride. I'm hitting that trail tonight, hitting that trail